Hello everyone, I'm in one of my favorite antique malls anywhere because it is giant and because they have good stuff. This is Heart of Ohio Antique Center, and yes, we were here a few months ago, and you figure, well, it's probably been slower and people have had a chance to restock, but I was talking to the Burner brothers, who have a YouTube channel. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out. And they said they have actually really been turning over merchandise and that they have a lot of fresh stock. Right in the center, there's a white and black and white compact next to that really cool red one. Yeah, I'd like to see that, please. Thank you. I like that it's a big size.
George asked about this. They're really cool.
They kind of are. They're sort of...
They almost look French.
Yeah, they're nice, actually.
I don't think they are, but they look at...
There's 80-ish stuff, yeah.
And then on the left side of this page,
is something that you wanted to look at?
What does that say?
You can't really make anything out.
It's marked for sure.
Yeah, it has something. I mean,
very cool.
The colors are really great.
Yeah.
I mean, they match every color you're wearing, so.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. It's got a really cool look to it.
This is very similar to the Brasilia pattern, but I like that it has the smoke glass inserts for reflectivity. And let's see if we have a name on here. I'm betting it's by Lane. It certainly looks like their work. But I don't see any markings on the inside. Good style though, and it's priced at $6.98. And if there is a maker name, it is back there where we cannot read it. In the $20 case, these Russell Wright pieces are actually pretty well priced. These casseroles in some markets do sell pretty well. And this is an unusual color of green. Russell Wright, of course, the designer of this. And there is the mark. This is the Iroquois pattern by Russell Wright. Iroquois Casual China. They started out with the American Modern, and it was a great design, but it wasn't as good quality as it needed to be. Now this one is a marriage because the colors are wrong.
I feel like they have to have made them.
Yeah, I would think so too. Otherwise you'd be seeing these everywhere because they really are fun and funky, and I haven't seen them anywhere else, so.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb with that dot one, though.
It is really neat. Yeah, and it definitely is your style. Monkey bellhop, and this one looks like he's just a figure. I know there's wind up too, but that's by Stife. Oh, isn't that nice the way they do that, where it's so thin that you actually see the light through it, and it's really just the same color of porcelain, they just thin it out. I think that's Japanese.
Very cool.
Oh no, it's Arabia.
Yeah, it's Finland.
Oh.
The people who make that cat creamer I like.
Yeah, oh, I love their stuff. I like everything they do, actually. I did not realize Arabia did a line like that. Pretty piece of Steuben here in the shell pink, and Steuben has actually been kind of overlooked for a while. They quit making this kind of glass, and collectors sort of seem to have forgotten about them, but the colored pieces I see having potential to make a comeback, especially when you see what Lalique is carrying in their stores, and they're doing color now too. This is very pretty, this wonderful blue shade in a nice metal bale there from about 1920. No, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, ooh, that's cool.
Oh my God.
Wow, big Italian Latticino. 145 doesn't seem bad for that.
And then
195.
19 off automatically, and I bet you could,
that's kind of a big stunning piece as a centerpiece. Yeah, wow. And look at that. All the work in it, especially when you look at it from the top, you really get it.
Takes a lot for me to whistle, but...
Yeah, no kidding, yeah. It is fun shopping with Jocelyn because she can step up for stuff like this, and she's not afraid to, where I'm just like, well, can I get my number out of it? And she's just like, I'm just going to do it and it'll happen.
Yeah.
Oh wow, a big piece of mercury glass next to it.
Shipping it for her.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm just like, do I want to deal with this big thing? Wow, this is very old mercury glass on a nice base. Priced at $149, and you just don't see a lot of this anymore. There's our base. That's really cute.
It's beyond cute. The porcelain is...
Yeah. Oh, and it's hand painted. $450.
And it's got a note in it saying brought from Japan by me many years ago.
Oh, interesting, but it's not Japanese.
No,
I mean, it's definitely French. Yeah, that is so sweet. $4.50 does seem really reasonable considering. Well, can we repack your car? Oh, and there's the original owner, I guess. Or at least something to do with her, yeah.
Completely.
Oh, it's nice. It's good quality. I mean, it's 20th century, but I mean, probably like first half. But I just really like that all of this is hand painted instead of a transfer, because usually by this time they're kind of getting lazy about that. If you like the lusterware of the 19th century, these are fun because they mix the Staffordshire transferware with lusterware trim. This would be about 1860 or so. This is priced at $129. I think that's a nice price for what it is. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll take those things.
Very nice.
Thank you.
This is a really interesting Victorian child's plate. This little one that says, "Take your time, Miss Lucy." It's a European tradition of singerie, which is a monkey trick, and basically shows monkeys wearing human clothes and mimicking humans and behaving in anthropomorphic ways. This one's by Meakin, which is a pretty famous English china maker that lasted for a very long time, and that one's priced at $110. And then this, you can tell by the car they're driving, is from the first decade of the 20th century. And it's that stick spatter design and painting on china that was popular as early as the 1700s. They also have this one with the rabbits over here. Idol rosettes are very collectible, and this particular pair here depict Chief Joseph, who I know from being out in the Northwest. He was in Oregon. They have $99 on the pair. Stuff like this would have been used by the early riders and horse displays in Pendleton for the Pendleton Roundup. They also have this pair also from about 1910 with the Eagles. The early 60s are the beginning of day-glow colors that really peaked in the psychedelic years of the late part of that decade. This is for Wiedemann beer, and it lights up from inside. And those animals are having a lot of fun with the barmaid. $2.95 is the price on that. Below, we see a Francoma wagon wheel teapot, and it's only $15. It's Sapulpa clay because it's the reddish tone, but that's a pretty inexpensive price. And it's a little bit later Sapulpa because they've added a coloring to it, so it's not the brick red, but it's a pinkish color, not the original tan from Ada either. This should date to about 1980. But well priced for what it is, and a potential buy. And then this is going to be by the Chase Company. We're used to seeing their pieces in chrome primarily, but this is a brass one. There is Pan, half man, half horse, but unfortunately it has damage on the side, and that's why it's only $45. Tiffin satin, for some reason, the colors all just glow, and I don't usually say that about satin glass. I'm sure those fluoresce a little at least. I know that the yellow and the green really do. Yeah, that's a nice set. $49, yeah, that's pretty good for the whole set, you're right. Purple cow here, this may be Brayton Laguna, and there was a time those used to sell for a lot of money. I am gonna look this one up and see if that is the case. Oh, that's cute, what's on it?
It's Evening in Paris, and it's got the mirror in it. It's $5.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's a score. Oh, Cream Rouge, oh those are cute.
Right? With the mirror.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe those are that cheap. There's some good deals in this place today.
They've been amping it up. I noticed that the last time I came, I was like, because it used to be, okay,
yeah, it's like, it's great, but it's
special thing.
Yeah, but wow, now it just seems like there's deals all over this mall. Oh yeah, this is a great booth. Very fun. Very mid-century and nice stuff. That is really nicely formed, yeah. Yeah, Pigeon Forge made some stuff, I'm realizing. You know, we see the same thing with the dogwood all the time and the little gray vase, but yeah, that's a neat piece. And $18 may not be a bad price because I think some people are onto them. I wonder if this is an Anna Marie Davidson. Oh, it's a Bavano, okay. They made neat stuff too. And then there's this. Third Eye Incorporated blacklight poster. Something Rich and Strange is the name of this particular piece. Very much from the psychedelic age. There was a big print shop in Ohio that did things like this, but I'm not sure where Third Eye was. This is one of the Jarret pieces I really like. It's just the pom-poms, but it's a nice natural form, priced at $4.95. And this is a pretty good match set. When I see Lee Reynolds, I always am reminded that this was not an artist, this was a factory of paintings, and they did the same thing over and over. But this diptych is actually something unusual. You usually just see single subjects, and they're usually not abstract like this, so that's a pretty good one. They've got that priced at $275. And then the Erica phone. I just sold my Erica phone for a little bit less than this, but I didn't have the red color, which is one of the best colors to have. Metal airplane propellers as sculpture, or something that we do see people doing. This is a fun piece of Blanco here, and they only have $28 on it, and it's clear crackle. I think that's a good price. Pink Panther was one of my favorite cartoons when I was a kid, and this has the original label. Kate pointed it out. It's great that it's got the label. Royal Orleans did a lot of these around 1980. This one's priced at $45. They become pretty collectible. I kind of wish I'd kept my collection when I see these pieces now. 1981 copyright on that one. Nice deal here on this whole butterfly vase, $19. It's got a chip, however. Unfortunately, Louise Bauer did the designs for them. That was 1956 when they were updating all their lines. Piece of treasure craft, but somebody dishwashed it, so it's not in good shape. This is very cute, the laundry sack, these embroidered pieces where they would have a towel that already had some color in it, and then they would embroider around the colors. Are fun. That's $16. That would have held your laundry and probably your clothespins went in a similar bag that went with it. I look at spaces I've seen before to see if they have something new, and there's something fresh. Dr. Zips Cheerio. That is a very obscure beverage from about 1913 when sodas were just starting to be really publicized. Next to it, a very cool lime and lemon crush dispenser. No orange. They must have had orange and grape in another counter. Those are things I didn't see before, which means this fellow has been selling something, because advertising, you know, it's big money these days. And if they had room to bring in big stuff like this, that means some stuff is gone. I don't know who KRW is, but that is a great paperweight from 1996. This is really interesting too, a Nesco, and it's a lidded jar of glass. I don't think of a Nesco as being glass, but they really branched out from just ceramics in the 1980s, and that is a very 1980s style piece. This says it's a featured item, and well worth being featured, is a Tibetan powder flask, and likely from a century ago or more. They have it priced at $6.95. When you start getting into Chinese art and artifacts of this era and Tibetan art and artifacts of this era, there is a large international audience for them now. These bottles are really fun. These are from about 1930. These are Schaffer and Vater, and they had lots of comic decanters. This one says Prosit, which is a German toast, and it's the nightcap. So the bottle with the nightcap stopper and the two little shot glasses. Sedgwick Rye decanter and tray there, and then this one is Spiritually Uplifting. I have one that says Prohibition, and the guy has an armful of bottles. This case has a lot of interesting silver virtu that I did not see the last time I was here. Some obvious standouts are the pinup on the compact there, but behind are two fish. The one on the left is a Russian silver eyeliner pot, and the one on the right is a lipstick case. Those are very unusual. Russian silver is a wonderful, beautifully made collecting category. We don't see a lot of it in this country. And when we do, it's typically enameled spoon sets like these, which are just gorgeous. These were the things of the czars and the royal families. And the fact that they made peasants slave away making these beautiful things that only they could enjoy might have contributed mightily to the Russian Revolution. Really pretty cigarette case in the middle with the enameling. I like the Niello. Niello is that black decoration with the palm trees and the boats on that cigarette box there. This is an interesting piece of Judaica from the Ottoman Empire. This hand mirror with all of the little jingle jangle bells on the end. And of course, there's lots of pretty cut glass sterling perfume bottles and cigarette cases as well. This is also Russian Niello. It's called a Kubachi belt, and they have the belt buckles for sale as well separately. Next to that is a very pretty chatelaine. Chatelaines were used for any number of reasons. Originally in medieval times, they were used in France, and the lady of the house would keep all her keys on a necklace But as chatelaines developed, they would be used for little things like stamp holders and little pencils and fragrances or sewing implements. A lot of sewing collectors look for the ones that have the sewing implements on them. This lovely filigreed painted portrait is Marie Antoinette by Jean-Baptiste Isabey from the 1790s, when her head was still on top of the rest of her, priced at $15.80. Very hard to find. Some pre-Columbian pottery face jugs. We don't really see the jugs as often as we see some of the other pieces. Those are priced in the $200 to $300 range. The blue bowl in the middle, this is Chalet of Canada, and I really like their work. It used to be that you could go to Vancouver and buy these pieces. People in the States knew that they had a Murano feel because they were designed by Murano craftsmen who came over and taught Canadians who were making this how to do it. They used to be sleepers, now they're discovered. This one is priced at $220. This to me is a very interesting group of covers or envelopes. They're called covers by stamp collectors, especially when they have something printed on them and then you would put your stamp on the other side. Good News for Traitors in the upper left corner. Jefferson Davis's Letters of Marque, and they're referring to him as a pirate. These are obviously from the north. We are in Ohio. The Fox and the Goose is talking about how this will be the death of me in Old Virginia too. Very strong sentiments in this time. A lot of them have the flags, of course. Our country now and forever. I think some of these are really kind of fascinating. And it says that apparently the Massachusetts Historical Society has collected 1,100 different designs. A couple of them I think are interesting enough that I will pick them up, maybe to keep with my stamp collection. And I've only gotten to the second bay of cases, and I'm seeing all sorts of things that weren't here just a few months ago, so this is encouraging. This has good information about the Confederate revolver factory in Griswoldville, Georgia, where these were found. And of course they have the bullets. We do see the bullets quite a bit. The rings are the Union, used in 1 in every 10 rounds fired, so they are not particularly rare. This is something particular to this part of the country, a Conestoga wagon jack dated 1793. That was the year that the father of the Studebaker brothers pulled their Conestoga wagon across from Pennsylvania to Indiana, at which point they settled and eventually started their car company. $175 on that. I'm used to seeing Nicodemus pottery out of Columbus, Ohio, but this is Finley fist stick. And I really like the piece. It's Mayan. I haven't run into this before. Kiln Forms is the name of the line. Very well chronicled. Interesting they did the detail on the back where you wouldn't see it either. That tells you it was something of quality that they took some time with. $35 on that piece with the Mayan. If you're looking for scarce pieces of moon and stars, well, the 3-piece lamps are definitely harder to find than most of their other pieces, and that one is priced at $150. And you see the Viking Epic Green Cat with the face in the back there, priced at $300. They have vintage Blanco question mark crackled pink pinch top vase on this, and they are correct that it's Blanco, but there's a story behind this one. If you can see through the top, which is a little bit tough, but you will see that this is flashed color. It's not cranberry glass, it's actually clear at the bottom. And that's because the color was applied by the Rainbow Glass Company, and you think, no, that's not possible. Rainbow was part of Viking Glass, not Blanco. But Rainbow originally was a decorating company and was separate from both of those companies, and so they decorated other people's work, and they did quite a lot of cranberry flash on Blanco pieces around 1950 when this was made. Then Viking bought them and turned them into their blown glass subsidiary, so the Viking pieces were molded and the Rainbow pieces were Viking colors in blown glass, and at that point they only produced for Viking because they were a subsidiary. Miniature spy cameras were more than just toys. This one on the left here was a serious spy camera. Sub-miniature is what they called them officially. That one is priced at $95, and then you have a lot of these. These are more the type that you got in the back of comic books, but they're very cute, very collectible. I always thought these Czech porcelain dresser sets were really cute with all that shape and the little minarets. This one's priced at $200 for the 3 pieces. This is a framed road and track illustration from about 1960. The Mercedes with the roof opening doors like that, the gull wing doors. Really, really cool. A very valuable and scarce car now. They were just starting to be imported. Studebaker got the license to import Mercedes to the United States in the late 50s. That is a very obscure and cool model, and $40 for the framed print from that time is probably not a bad deal because the car and the prints are fairly hard to find. I can hear them. Kate is back there with the Burner brothers. They are doing a whatnot sale right now. And while they're doing that, I'm going to look at this really great Victorian feather wreath for $275 in the shadow box. You really don't see them in that kind of condition very often. Here's another feather picture from the Victorian era, priced at $375. Just beautiful. And then up here, look at that with all of the beading and everything. These are such beautiful examples of that sort of Victorian work that we just don't run into anymore.
It's coming around to you. Just in case you weren't aware, there's something going on back here.
You can hear it from the
Yeah, come sign it.
Jocelyn.
All right.
Here's your marker.
No, I think Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, sign it. Silka, you got to sign the book.
Sign the
Yeah.
book.
Yes.
This is George's book. We
George
picked
wrote
it
the
up
book.
I know, I
on
saw
one of our
it the other
estate
day.
sales, or
Love
estate
you
buys.
all. What a party. Woohoo.
Okay, real quick before you put this up, this is really hard to find, and this is a pretty valuable piece, so bid early and often, folks. This is good.
I trust what George says.
You heard that? It's rare.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
And won the horse.
Hey, Jen, congratulations, $71. Our no love.
I think George picked that one.
Yeah, George picked
Oh,
that.
George. That's right.
That probably glows under black light a little bit.
Blacklight it, Jimmy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It's got a lot of glow in that. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
It sold $43.
Star and wreath coverlet. This is nice because it's got the date. The looms that did these were around about 15 years when this came out, and it is priced at $250, but it does have a hole. This is really pretty. I've always liked this Weller Floretta and Etna and all these floral patterns from the teens. There's the embossed stamp on there, and this one is priced at $135. They're usually pretty nice about discounts back here, so we'll see. That might be something for me to consider.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
I felt like it would be popular.
Oh, I think that'll sell. I just love that color of electric blue.
Reminds me of the dinette sets.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I would like that in that color. Tennessee beer was from Rochester, and it ended up being distributed in Florida because someone moved there from Rochester and then said, hey, we should bring our beer with us. So then it became more of a regional brand instead of just a local brand. $40 on that. That's going to be from the 50s. This is really pretty. It's a covered butter dish. Lots of hand painting, lots of enameling, a little bit of beading, and it's a porcelain bisque. There's our mark on the bottom. I think it's early Nippon because of the way it's made, probably the Royal Nippon Company. It might be Stevens & Williams, yeah. There was Webb in England and then Stevens & Williams, and also a company called Hobbs Buchner that made similar, and I can't tell without looking them up. But yeah, the feather is in good shape, and it does look like it has the right wear, because there were a lot of repros in the 80s of this stuff, but this is nice and heavy and substantial. I think it's real.
It's very yonic.
Yes. There is a giant Empoli bottle that can be used as a candlestick after you were done, priced at $185. I remember 20, 30 years ago in estate sales, people wouldn't even look at these, and now they're very popular with the generation that grew up around them. And that's your candle cup there, and also the stopper for the bottle. It's hard to fix the old wind-up toys if they break, which is too bad because this is only $160, and it's the Marx toys from 1930s with Donald Duck and Goofy dancing with each other. Originally, Goofy was called Dippy the Goof. This is a smoke bell, so that you would keep the smoke out of the room. You don't find them in very good condition because a lot of them broke or got hot and cracked or are stained from years of smoke on the inside. $50 on that piece. This is an old primitive tin foot warmer that somebody made at home. I like primitives, and I like showing them when I find them because they're all unique in their own way. Somebody just punched tin with their own set of holes. They made a little bit more of a design on this one. And it says it's from Chester, Vermont, $135 on that piece. They say circa 1860, and that certainly seems about right to me. These are things that definitely give some people the chills and they wouldn't want anything to do with, but These Nazi items, like this very hard to find hat from the Second World War, they're confiscation pieces. This was to show that we won. This is why these were brought back by our servicemen to the United States. And it is important to remember what really happened and to preserve some of this stuff so that future generations understand the horrors of fascism and what it can bring. This is really cool. This is a Speed Chief from 1933, and it's a tether car, meaning it was a gas-powered car, but they had to have a tether on it so it would run in circles around you so it wouldn't just run off because they didn't have remote control back then. Tether cars are pretty collectible, and this is an early one. They have a big price on it, but they are not easy to find. The Rocket Express is cool from the 1950s. It's that Buck Rogers style rocket, and it had all these trestles so you could slide it back and forth, kind of like an overhead monorail. And then behind is the high-speed racer. I would have loved that as a kid. It's that transition in the late 60s where you're starting to get away from the metal parts on the wheels and the heads and things because they were afraid kids would cut themselves on those, but the body is still metal. That's really fun, a little pull toy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's and like a Mickey face.
It's a Mickey face, yeah. Yeah, probably $18. That seems really good.
It does. I thought you might like it.
I do kind of like it. Did you? Oh, thank you. I think I do.
That.
Yeah, wow, awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you kind of have me figured out a little bit.
I like that.
I do
it's
too.
Fun to figure people out a little.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, that's...
Especially the ones with good taste.
Oh, yes. Well, I have, well, I don't know if it's taste, but it's flavor.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, thank you. I like that. I think I'll take that. It definitely has that snout, like they're at least trying to rip off Mickey Mouse. Oh, that's really cute. It's all the original content.
That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yep.
Onion skin.
It's in pristine condition.
Yeah, it's super clean.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would sell that.
Yeah, I think I'll take that. This
left-facing pendant would have likely flown from a car or something like that, or been suspended pointing down. But this is from the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Berlin held the Olympics, and Adolf Hitler used it as a chance to showcase fascism and order and what he saw as the way for society to be. He also used it as a way to promote the idea of the mastery of the Aryan race. So when Jesse Owens, a black man from America, won his track meet, Hitler refused to give him his medal, and Jesse Owens became an American hero. Because a lot of people from countries around the world came to the 1936 Olympics, you will find items like this from time to time. This one's priced at $175. The next Olympics were going to be held in Tokyo in 1940, and for obvious reasons that did not happen. This is a very cool toy you don't see very often, the Metalcraft Zeppelin construction set, and there it is all hooked together. It was like an erector set, but the Zeppelin was such a popular idea, such a great notion of being able to fly. It was fast, it held lots of people, it was certainly as good as an airplane at the time. If it hadn't been for the wreck of the Hindenburg in 1937, Zeppelin travel might have spread far and wide. This stovepipe hat with Excelsior on it is part of the New York National Guard 14th Brigade, which saw action in the Civil War. Made of beaver pelt, priced at $5.50. Crates are very popular again, and this is a very handsome one, B.T. Babbitt's Best Potash or Lye, from sometime right around 1900. The condition's really good on this. It was shipped somewhere and then not used again. It looks like it's been waxed, but waxing things to bring out the color is perfectly fine as long as you use a natural wax. There's the interior. This one is priced at $2.89. It's in very good condition for its age. The Ferris wheel was invented in 1893 for the Chicago World's Fair, and it became very popular, and they spread all over the country and all over the world. There's giant Ferris wheels in downtown Seattle, downtown London, lots of other places. This is a seat from a very early one from sometime around 1900 or 1910 with that great green paint and the leather padding, and it's priced at $17.50. That is the footrest that is folded up there. Cudgel is a very unusual piece from the Spanish-American War saying, "Remember 98." That's how we know 1898 being the beginning of that war. It's a very pretty pattern of Lalique glass. This one is signed René Lalique, so it's before his death in 1941, and that makes it more valuable. I love the opalescence. This spun off various lookalikes like Consolidated Stamps of the Nymphs in America, and this one's priced at $8.25.
Yes.
I've never seen the cat face tail light though. That's really cool. That must be like a 50s thing for customization, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really awesome actually.
It's really cool. I was about to do it, but I thought at that price, I better make sure that.
And they're actually out there. That's funny that I've never seen one, but you know, sometimes it's like that. You've never seen one and then all of a sudden you see like 10.
Yeah.
But that's really neat. I like this piece behind it too, this really big store counter lighter advertising Garcia Grande cigars, hole in head, just light, and there's your lighter on the left there. And you pull down on that and then that would glow, and then above you have your box of cigars to sell. That's a pretty neat store display from around 1930 at $4.35. Hey, if you're enjoying going through this mall as much as I am, and there are some really great things to see here, well then please click thumbs up to tell us that you like this video. Please leave a comment. And if you are interested in becoming a member, check the join button if you see that, or go below the dash line in the descriptions of any of our videos to check out memberships. We've got various packages that give you access to early access bonus videos and direct chat with me. So if that interests you, that's where you'll find that information. Exxon's logo was put a tiger into your tank, and that went for Esso in Canada as well. These are various glass sets from the 1960s. This one even has the tray, which is pretty cool. He's waving the checkered flag. Not so easy to find these sets anymore. $175 on this particular set here, and the set in the caddy is $125. I always liked this piece because it has the decoration, and you don't see decorated on the Viking satin glass very often. So the very little swung bud vase, and that's a nice price with the flower on it, I think. Just an unusual variant. I'm looking for more cameras. I've never seen the La Sardina. It's just really fun the way that it's patterned. I mean, I'm sure it was an inexpensive camera, but the design was to catch your eye, and it worked on me. $65. Yeah, Bakelite and Deco. Oh wow, and there it's digital, but it's discs, so the number rolls down. That's really interesting. I've never seen this one before. For you hand-painted pottery enthusiasts, this is a Weller pattern you don't see very often. This is Juno. I love the shape of the fan base, and that artful decoration is going to be a mid-1920s color and design, priced at $145. This is a little earlier. This is the Dickens ware line. And you see the tobacco jar with the Dickens characters on it. Buffalo China also famously made Dickens ware in the United States. This is really fun. Weller Muscota, and that is a crab flower frog. Weller made some really cool flower frogs. That was something they did very well. This one is also the Muscota line, the water lily here. Look at this old Bob's Big Boy head. Well, it might have been Shoney's Big Boy, or Frisch's Big Boy, or whoever owned the Big Boy franchise in your region. I grew up out west, so it was Bob's Big Boy. The Big Boy, by the time I came along, was a full-figured fiberglass guy. This is really cool. $5.75. These are old-style street signs where they were on little posts at the end of the street rather than on big, tall posts. These are priced at $2.95 each. We've got Parkway Drive and A Street at Arbutus. Arbutus is the name in Canada that they call what we call the Madrona tree, which is the Spanish word. So I wonder if these are indeed from Canada. This is neat. This is a Brush Studios pottery sign, and brush pottery is something that a lot of people collect now. I have never seen a dealer sign for them before. This is priced at $2.49. It looks like something that dates back to maybe the 1930s, looking at the design. I haven't had one of these fun Formica sets in a long time. All kidney shaped. The faux marbling in the Formica is really fun. And they have the pair of end tables and then the amazing coffee or cocktail table. They're asking $8.95 for the cocktail table and $7.95 for the pair of the end tables. This one is Nachesen Bezalel, and it's called Spring Leaves, and it has a really amazing frame. And look how it creates enough color of different colors to make all of this orange work together. And of course all of this as well. And then they've got the enamelware. I mean, everything on this wall is very much right now as far as what people are collecting. These are early 1900s game well alarms for fire stations with the early electrical apparatus. You can see through the glass. And they are priced at $19.75 for the one on the left, $28.75 because this one has the feather top, which is harder to find. This one's actually from about 1890 to 1900. And then below, we have this one, which is a big old hand-cranked alarm by the Sterling Company. Old fire-related stuff is very collectible. This is the piece we see more often, the Gamewell Cottage fire alarm, where you pull down and then break the glass in order to set off the alarm. This one's priced at $3.50. It's an earlier model of this one. That goes especially for this fire keg fire grenade. You would actually throw this at the fire with the high pressure chemical in it that was supposed to put the fire out. Some of those chemicals, by the way, if you see the old Comet balls that are sealed and it doesn't say that it has water in it, you don't want to be anywhere near those because the chemical in it, if it happens to break, sucks all the oxygen out of the room and your lungs, and it can kill you. So be very careful when you see those. This one would have had some sort of liquid salt water in it. There's some older fire grenades and extinguishers, a lot by the Hardin Company, all late Victorian era. Fire was a big problem in the Victorian era, partly because of fairy lamps and candles left under heavy draperies to burn at night in the windows. This is a Seagrave fire lantern. You notice it's even a little more protected than a railroad lantern from that time. And the Dietz Queen. These are pretty hard to find. Made necessary because fire insurance became a thing after the Civil War, when commercial districts started developing more and there started to be larger and larger buildings. This has a crack, unfortunately, in the glass, but it is still priced at $300 because it's a hard piece to find. I like this wall-hanging harp planter. Looks like a 1950s chalkware piece. Now, it is possible that it had somebody playing it sitting next to it at one time, or was part of a larger set. But at $16, I think it's interesting enough for somebody who's a musician. I think I'll pick that up. We are not far from where Weller Pottery was established, and by 1908 they were the biggest pottery company in the world, and they were making things like this. The fellow with the upturned mustache is a tobacco humidor. A very scarce one. This one's priced about $600. Next to it, this humidor is priced a little bit less. Not quite as handsome, but definitely of the era and all hand painted. These are fun. There were a couple of different pottery pieces made when the Flintstones became big in 1961. There's a set of 4 ashtrays with the main characters on them that are pretty collectible at about $45 or $50 a piece, but you don't see the bank on the left or the cookie jar on the right very often. This is a cool display. The special soap sale, and this is a chalkboard type metal here. And there is your bin. 1930s, you can tell by the way she's dressed, and she's doing her dainties. And they're just really cute. Rinso and Lux, and very, very sweet graphics. And Lifebuoy soap, which I know was still around when I was a kid. I'm not sure if any of these brands are still made today. Price on that is $18.95. Most of these store displays were scrapped during the Second World War for the metal.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh,
Magna
Eyes. Oh, that's great. So it's got a magnifying mirror in it.
Yeah, and it's golden and it's glittery, so
Oh.
God knows if anyone else will ever see it other than myself.
Yeah, it will stay with you, yes. Yeah, you got some really great things. I like that. Compact locket. That's really good. I see a little bit of Lefton. Cute head base. Oh, actually, that's a Narco.
Yeah, that's a good one.
She's got great eyes, and I love this thing.
Yeah. This is very strange. It's
Oh, that is very
contemporary, but
peculiar.
It has a kind of look to it.
It has
It's not
the
like
aged
for
look,
$10.
right.
It looks like it was probably handmade, maybe, but the face is just so
Yeah, and it's painted.
spectacular.
Yeah, she's very cute.
A little lamp.
Aw.
Yeah.
And then my side of things, well, looks a little different, but I'm happy with it too. The Tiffin set and some Civil War related things, Chevrolet. We've got a compact. We've got, Kate found that for me. Here is the goose that laid the golden egg, we hope, by Pigeon Forge. And then the Brayton Laguna Purple Cow. I've always wanted to own this piece, and it's the first time I have. And a decent price on a Francoma teapot, a nice Blanco piece, and then the harp. So, wow. Oh yes, and I forgot there's a helmet. Oh yeah, and then there's a million bangles. You did all right. I was gonna say, where's the jewelry, but I should have known. Oh, that's cute with the spring action.
Good, yeah.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's really cool.
Couldn't resist him.
It's like he's exercising.
Yeah.
Wow, I think we had fun.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, check out this one. Also, click thumbs up to like this video and check the description for information about our Patreon, our memberships. We've got a lot of different levels with different perks and bonus videos and early content. Also, please do check out our website, theantiquenomad.com, for appraisal help. And we'll see you again for more adventures in the antique and vintage community soon. Bye for now.